there's some sort of consolation prize, like a spiritual consolation, humiliation thought form that women leave men with after they monkey branch to another man. And it's kind of like this, they'll project onto you, they'll say like, well, you were just too good for me, I don't deserve you, you deserve something better. And a man who lives in an idealistic framework is literally going to sit there and like buy into that nonsense and be like, you know what, I was too good for her, I do deserve something better. And he's going to carry with him this like self-righteous, cross, so to speak. He's going to be bearing this cross of self-righteous idealism that he thinks like he still did the right thing and the right outcome of that situation played out. And it really is like a hex, and it's a terrible thing for somebody to do. It's a terrible way of thinking for a man, because a man who operates from his own mental point of origin isn't grateful to come in second place. There are no consolation prizes. You lose. It's that simple. The guy who can still have something to hold on to and walk away from like he won when he really didn't, that's a guy who's going to keep losing and never learn how to behave in a way that gets him the women that he truly seeks. And some people will have you think that you need to be grateful for your experiences when they were abusive or whatever. They'll always say like, well, because you went through that abusive experience, or because you went through being with that person who diminished you and humiliated you and all this other stuff and beta-tized you through 1,000 concessions, well, you were able to learn now what that is and what you don't want. But the man who never lowered himself in the first place to be in that experience, the man who just continually operates from his own mental point of origin and has options and doesn't put up with that shit, he's going to have a much more rewarding and enjoyable life. He's not going to deal with suffering or depression or anything like that. And so it comes back to that old adage from Machiavelli: it's better to be feared than it is to be loved. Because if you're not feared, a woman will take advantage of you. She'll manipulate you, she'll wrap you around her finger. If she thinks that she's the best you can get, then she's not going to respect you. What keeps a woman's hypergamous features in check is fear. It's knowing that you can leave her at any time and not take so much as a dent to your lifestyle while she loses everything. You can't be in that mental point of origin and have that type of power if you enter into an unconscionable contract that she's incentivized to break, known as marriage. And that's incentivizing her to basically destroy you and everything you've worked for. And it's not that I'm against, being with somebody in a, building a life together or anything like that, but just being realistic about what a marriage contract actually is. Most people aren't, and that's why they're constantly destroying themselves. And the point of this story that I wanted to harp on is, for you as a man, there are no consolation prizes. If you aren't getting what you want, or you're losing what you wanted or what you had, that's not a good sign. That's not something to be proud of and to walk away with some sort of consolation. You get what you put up with, you get what you tolerate. And the way that shit stops happening to you is you put your foot down, both in the physical world and the spiritual world. And you make it abundantly clear, don't ever send that shit to me again or else. But you've got to decide what that or else is, and what your line in the sand is, and what you're willing to do, and what you're willing to tolerate. So I'll leave you to think about that. But for God's sakes, Stop being idealistic and start getting realistic. If you don't know where to start, check out a book that I published earlier this year. Link will be in the description below. It's called Get Mad or Get Realistic. Have a good one.